Coming to America 2. All right, let's just, this is what I first want to say. I feel like the movie itself is very digestible. And when I say digestible, I mean, it's like, you can't, I hate when people be like, I didn't like that movie. And it's like, what didn't you like about it? Like, the plot was fine. The way they, like, the story itself was cool. Like, I like that. I liked how, you know, in Coming to America, the first one, you know, he kind of went to Queens and he got to find love and stuff. But then in this one, you kind of get to experience him in Zamunda, because I was going to say Africa, but you know, it was meant to be a fictitious area of Africa. So, he went to Zamunda. He showed how, you know, you become a prince in Zamunda. Like, I don't know if I should say certain stuff. Like, okay, spoiler alert, I guess. I'm not, well, it's not really a spoiler alert, because I'm not telling you what happened in the movie. Like, I'm not telling you, like, the main thing. But, you know, he talks about how you have to get the skills and the, what's the other word I'm thinking of? Like, the skills to be a prince. Like, they had to catch the whiskers, and then they had to learn about the each fathers before him, you know, like the each kings that came before him, things like that. I enjoyed that. So it's like you got a little bit of Zamunda, vice versa Queens. You get what I'm saying? You got to learn more of their culture, the culture of the fictitious Zamunda. But for me, you know, I'm big on quality or whatever, and I say that a lot on this podcast. Actually, you'd be surprised. Like, even remember, I was like, things we should leave in 2020 is Zoom. Like, I hate that blurry quality. So now, I'm not saying that the quality of the movie was blurry. No, that's not the case. I'm saying, for me, it was, all right, so I heard that they filmed the movie in Rick Ross's mansion. I don't know how true that is, but, because then I saw that they filmed it somewhere else too. So, for me, it just wasn't, like, it's 2021. Like, they said they finished filming this movie in 2019. So even 2019, I have high expectations for movies. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't giving me Zamunda. It wasn't giving me Africa. Like, I wanted a little more realism. Also, the dude, what's his name? Jermaine? I don't want to lie. Let me pull that up real quick. The dude who played Zamunda's son, right? So let me put some the dude who plays Zamunda's son, child. The dude who played Eddie Murphy's son, because I forgot Eddie Murphy's name in the movie. I ain't gonna hold you. Coming to America 2 cast. He kind of, I liked him. Very nice guy. I like that they picked somebody, to me, I would say relatively new. His name is Jermaine Fowler. And he was on, he's best known for his role on the series Superior Donuts. So I would say he's relatively new. And then I was gonna give them big ups for that. Then I realized when you pick somebody that you want to look youthful, who could you pick that was like really famous? Like, you get what I'm saying? To be Eddie Murphy's son. Like, there's not that much young new actors that are relevant. Does that make sense? Like, all the actors that are black actors that we know very well are already of age. They're already at 40. They can't play nobody's son, honey. You can't. They just can't. Denzel Washington can't play somebody's son. So they have to get new actors. And I was just thinking about that, like you know, Hollywood needs to start really just bringing some new actors to the front of the table. Like, it's time to let other black actors shine. But anyway, my thing with Jermaine Fowler was, one, he just wasn't giving me that he looked similar to Eddie Murphy or Lisa. I always call her Lisa Leslie. Lisa Leslie is the basketball player, child. Leslie Jones, right? Because they were the two that fathered him. That was one. But I don't get too mad about that, because I noticed that they often mess up in that area in movies anyway. But for me, what was killing me was that he was supposed to be from Queens, New York, and his accent wasn't giving me Queens. I felt like Leslie Jones was kind of owning in on the New York City mother. Like, I remember one part in the movie where she did something that like a girl from New York would do. You know what I'm saying? But for Jermaine, he wasn't giving me New York. And then also, talk fashion. Okay. Ooh. The fashion. His outfits wasn't giving me Queens. It wasn't giving me New York City. In 2021, they put him, it was one outfit he had on, oh my God, he had on a plaid button down with the white beater underneath and the baggy jeans and some Timbs. That is very early 2000s, baby love. Like I don't know. Also, even too with the African fashion, the Zamunza fashion. It wasn't serving the girls. The only person who served the girls was Tiana Taylor. She must have brought her own stylist. And maybe because she was supposed to be the sexy one. Like, but it was just like, it just wasn't hitting it on the nose for me. And then what really got to me, because I'm like, all right, maybe it was COVID-19 restrictions, maybe. But then I remember that movie been finished. So come to find out, that movie was finished November, I want to say 9th or 17th, 2019. So my thing is like, all right, y'all couldn't have went to Africa just to get the energy right, you know, you get what I'm saying? Like it just wasn't giving me, it wasn't serving the girls. Like, it just wasn't serving me. Like, just the aesthetic of the movie, personally. Like, that, Coming to America, that movie came out in the late 80s or early 90s. I'm not 100% sure. And, you know, I get the quality. I wanted a higher quality Coming to America too. Now, after I watched the movie and I had this opinion about the movie, I was like, let me do a little research. Because this is my comparison. Yeah, y'all gonna be like, oh my Lord, Marini. My comparison was like, if they was gonna go into Africa, you feel me? I wanted a depiction of Zamunza in such a way like Black Panther. I'm dead ass. Like, I feel like with Black Panther, they just really put emphasis into the costumes, into the look, into the aesthetic of the movie. And this is even worse. Black is King. Black is King with Beyonce. I felt like she really owned in on the African culture and just, and she is Beyonce, so they were going to pay attention to the fashion and the aesthetic. I'm quite sure her creative team is really super duper creative, or whatever the case may be. So I just felt like I compared, and the movie wasn't supposed to be a big African movie, but I just felt like when it came to that, they did it just wasn't giving me like, I wanted like this real weird fictitious feeling of Zamunza, like how we got a fictitious feeling of Wakanda. Like, you know, like after we watched Black Panther, some people believe Wakanda was real, like they wanted to go to Wakanda, things like that. That's what I wanted. Also, even the depiction of Queens, I feel like the only person who nailed it on the head was Tracy Morgan, but Tracy Morgan's from Brooklyn, so that's why they couldn't do that movie without him. You feel me? Like, he was just giving me the laughs. When Eddie Murphy went back into the barbershop, that was where the laughs came from. I felt like all the comedians did their comedic good, their comedic timing really well. I felt like Leslie Jones was a little funny and stuff like that. But I just wanted more quality. That was what I wanted. I felt like it was really simple. So I did my research, and their budget was $60 million. So when I first saw it, I'm like, that's a lot of freaking money. But Wakanda's budget, Black Panther's budget was $200 million. So that's a big difference, you know. And then Beyonce, they don't say what her budget was. They say how much she got paid. And they said that she actually paid out of her pocket to make Black is King. Like, every penny out of her pocket. And she didn't film everything in Africa. Some stuff was filmed out in Nigeria and stuff. Like, certain scenes were in Nigeria and the UK. But she wasn't there for all of them. But she still, it just looked beautiful. But I think that comes with, maybe when Eddie, $60 million sounds like a cheap ass budget for a movie, I'm thinking now. And maybe, you know, they didn't really feel like that was important enough, like, to pay attention to detail. I just felt like it lacked detail. The storyline, I hear a lot of people complaining about the storyline, like, oh, it was the same thing from, I'm not too mad about the storyline. I thought the storyline was kind of cool, actually. I mean, like, it was a family movie. And I like that. Like, I feel like you could show your kids coming to America and show them coming to America too. And like I said, it's a good, I didn't have a problem personally with the storyline. I had a problem with the detail. I didn't feel like it was detail orientated. I didn't like the quality. That was me. Like, when you, and that's the thing you like when you see like somebody do a movie over in this time, you're like, oh my God, it's gonna look amazing. That's your expectations. Like, when people do movies over from the 80s, is that you're gonna get it times 1,000 because of just all the technology and stuff. But budget plays a role. Like, I felt like the Bad Boys for Life, the last Bad Boys that they made, was good. I liked the quality, because I had watched a couple of the Bad Boys before, and then I watched that and I was like, wow, this movie was really good. Like, I enjoyed the newest Bad Boys, or whatever the case may be. So I didn't feel the storyline was bad. I just felt the detailing was bad. That's just my opinion. I don't like to bomb on black movies, black films, but I mean, certain people could get bombed on. Like Eddie Murphy. Like, Eddie Murphy is Eddie Murphy. So we expect so much from him. But when you bomb on like if it was like a newer, and then I heard, what's his name was on the production team. What's this child name? Kenya Barris. So come on now. Freaking what's this girl named Zendaya? Not Zendaya. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The girl from Black-ish. Oh Lord, I know her name. You know, the light skin one with the, you know, with the curly hair. She's on Grownish. She be having better looks than freaking what they had going on up in Coming to America too. So my expectations was very high. I'm sorry. And I could bomb them, because they're elite when it comes to black television, black movies, black comedy. Like, you can't give me some lackluster shit. If they were new up and coming producers and creatives, then yes. Then now, you know, I'll be a little more lenient. I'll be a little more nice. But Eddie Murphy? No. Absolutely not. He's too well connected. He should have brought in a way more creative team, a way more better costume. Like, even with Beyonce, if you check her credits for Black is King, you know all the motherfuckers was African in that shit. Like, that's why they hit it on the nose. It's the same theology as when we say white people need to have black people in the room so that they don't make errors. Like, they needed some more African people on the board. They needed a better costume designer on board. They needed everything. They need a better set stylist. What is that called? The people who do the set. I just wasn't here for it. I like the little dancing and stuff that they had. I could go into detail. I want to let y'all know I'm very extra. You know, I feel like I'm a creative myself sometimes, so I'm very, very extra when it comes to just presentation. I felt like even the music could have been better. Like, but I'm thinking their budget was low, honey. They probably had better music, but then they had to cut some stuff out when they realized it was going to theaters. That's what I'm assuming. It was like, yo, we cut your part out, so we ain't cutting you no check. Because they only had one, like, Afrobeat song in it. It was Tiwa Savage, and that was at the end of the movie. So I just felt like it was just giving me very low budget. I'm thinking that could be too. Maybe they had to take some stuff out because they didn't want to cut certain checks. I don't know. They got paid $120 million. They paid $60 million to make it. They got $60 million back. I'm pretty sure if had it went to box office though, it would have made way more money. But I mean, it's but so much you could do. But like I said, for me, that's what it lacked. So that took up about a big chunk of the episode. But hey, it is what it is. So I watched Coming to America this week. That was one of the things. You just finished watching a clip from a podcast called Brit Says The Podcast. BRITTSAYS. If you want to watch that full episode, you can click right up here. And if you want to stream and listen to Brit Says The Podcast, it is available on all DSPs. such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, DEEZER, iHEARTRADIO, anything you can imagine, you'll find Brit Says The Podcast. So go head out, listen, leave a review, and 5 stars. And while you're here, subscribe to my channel.